What's up, friends? My name's Aaron Ciotti. Everybody calls me Ciotti, and I'm extremely frustrated right now. Hold on, let me close this. That was an edit called, I don't know, something or other. Charlotte something, Time Machine, FPV Time Machine. It's from 2019. That was the edit that never ended. Right, so I'm still on a single monitor setup, which is a little difficult. Welcome to Whoop Wednesday. We're doing some repairs. We're gonna swap out this T-Motor 0803. We are going to swap out this frame here for the frame that everybody says is the best one, which is the, I'm stalling because I can't remember the name of it. Betaflight, I don't know. It's this one. It's this one. You guys know which one it is. Chat will say which one it is. And we're also going to install 3.5.7 on this old brushed Whoop. There is no target on 4.0, 4.1, 4.2 for this. The most recent target for this old brushed board. This little guy might be 5 years old. This might be the first or the second Tiny Whoop board I ever bought. So yeah, it's very old. But it's got Betaflight on it right now for some reason, which is just ridiculous. So we're going to get it on the Betaflight where it belongs. And we're going to talk some shit, do some Q&A, leave those any of those questions that you've got in the chat. The light is again on the wrong side here. Well, not wrong side, just different side. Usually the main light source, or the key light, is up here. But I'm playing around with it being over here. I don't know. This side of my hair usually looks good. This side of my hair often looks awful. So, technically this is my good side, so I would love to keep the light source here. The problem I'm having is, the way that this desk is set up, I can only mount the light like when I'm looking at you guys, the very front of the light source is here, and then the back of the light source is all the way over here. So I'm getting no light on this side of my face, right? There's a straight line right down the middle here, which typically you want to avoid. Typically you want this eye to be able to, the off eye to be able to see the light source so that it's not completely in shadow. And I can do that if I kind of see that. Doesn't that look better? But then I'm not looking at you guys. Lighting stuff. Don't get me started talking about lighting. Hey, look at this. The best beer in the whole wide world. If you guys like beers that aren't bitter, you're gonna like this. This is Shiner's seasonal right now, and it's really good. If I could afford it, I would buy a truck of it. But instead, I'll buy 6 at a time, like a sane human being. I'm gonna be sad when that goes away. In the chat, Paul McDonald was first, Freelo Joe was next, Kevin Sumner, Sir Sticks-A-Lot FPV, Rodney JR FPV. I'll tell you guys why I'm annoyed in a second. Grizz FPV, Schizophrenic FPV, Northern Tier, Ramdonko, Chopper. I typically stumble on your name because as I'm reading it, I think that I'm reading it wrong because Chomper FPV has been around for a long time and he's a good friend of mine. So don't be weirded out when I always kind of stutter on your name. It's because when I'm reading through the names really quickly, I just like browse past the word, and CHOPPER versus MPER, I'm like, and I just want to make sure I'm reading the right name. So yeah, that's why I will tend to stutter on your name. Glenn Burnett, Ram Jam, North 49 RC, Susie Sinclair, Whack FPV. I think I missed somebody. Who did I just miss? I missed somebody. Sucks to be you. Not really, though. You've got a great life. A gangly man reading your name out loud on a live stream means nothing. I got it. There was an eyelash. Glenn Burnett, CMYK FPV, WAM FPV, CMYK, dropping the link to sometimes I can do it. This isn't one of those times. Ram Jam, Metal Dirtskin, Renegade FPV, B-Man, North 49 again, June Loco, Bob Noxious, Dusty Joe, Chopper. See? I'll do it every time. Ram Donko, June Loco. There we go. I think I got everybody. What's up, friends? Thanks for coming to this weekly installment of Whoop Wednesday. You ever meet somebody who puts H's in front of W's? Those people require some serious patience on my part. Here's why I'm very annoyed. I'm actually like really. I was like, I screamed the F word before the stream started in frustration at Teespring. So tonight we are going to draw the winner of the giveaway that we've been talking about for the past like week and a half. All this good chocolatey good stuff, full build kit with a Caddx Tarsier. the giveaway was, and the giveaway's over, the giveaway was for every $5 you spend on Etsy, Fiverr, or Teespring, you get entered in the giveaway. You go to Etsy, you look up your orders, tells you the people's names and how much they spent. Add them to the wheel. Done. Go to Fiverr, look at the one person that booked you, put them on the wheel. He did a half-hour session, which is $40, so he went on the wheel 8 times. Good to go. All is well. Go over to Teespring, and I guess since they're dropship, they don't tell me who placed the orders. All they tell me is that an order happened on January 9th at 1:38 in the morning. So, on the wheel here, half the wheel this is all I could do. I could just put the name of the item that was ordered. So if somebody that ordered from Teespring wins, they're gonna have seen, and I'm gonna mention it as often as I can, but like basically there's a chance that the winner of this giveaway is Clam Man Hoodie. And I'm going to have to say over and over again on the live stream until the person emails me, I'm going to have to say, hey, if you entered the giveaway by ordering a Clam Man hoodie, I need you to message me and I need you to send me a screenshot of your email confirmation. So that sucks a big bag of dicks. But maybe there is a chance. It's roughly a 50-50 chance that someone's name will win this giveaway. I've spent about an hour trying to figure out how to get any... For the record, Teespring's UI is just so dumb. It's so dumb. And half their website is having that weirdo HTTPS issue, so I can't go to half their website. And yeah, that's frustrating. But yeah. Why? Why? I mean, I don't know. They make a great product. Their t-shirts look awesome. Speaking of, here's a Teespring t-shirt. Their printing looks fantastic. It seems to hold up really well. They integrate with live streams, so once I figure out how to do it, if during the live stream one of you guys orders something from Teespring, it'll pop up in the little spot here and say, blah, 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 ordered a t-shirt. And that's really cool. So, yeah. Teespring is great for everything other than trying to find out the names of anyone who ordered anything from you. All that being said, thank you guys so much for participating in this giveaway. In the chat, tag me and say yes or no. Do you like this form of giveaway? Know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, say yes if this is a fun way of doing giveaways every so often. Type no if it's not. That doesn't make any sense, because the people that ordered are going to type yes, and the people that didn't order are going to type no. I don't know. It's super marketing-y, you know? It's super like, hey, spend money to do a giveaway this way. You know, this is a build kit, but I thought it would kind of work well for a build kit like this because, you know, if I put all this stuff individually on FPV Exchange, I could make $200+ off of this bag of parts. So it's not like our typical giveaways, you know? I don't know. I should probably, like, do this, like, once every other month and, like, mix it up, right? That's what I should do. And I did want to drive as many of you guys over to the Etsy store as possible. Just selfishly, because I put a bunch of time in to putting all those items up there. So whatever I have to do to force you guys to go look at the hard work that I did. My bad person. Not true. I'm a good person trapped in a skinny bad person shell. I don't know. CiottiFPV tag. Hey! Hi. This is my full-time job. If you want to talk to me in the, this is my full-time, if you want to talk to me in the full-time job chat, if you want to talk to me in the chat, type CiottiFPV. You don't have to put an @ in front of it, but you can. By typing CiottiFPV, it highlights in orange, and I know that you're talking to me. This is my full-time job. If you want to support me, participate in the giveaways, head on over to Ciotti, or, you know, just in general, participate in giveaways. Head on over to CiottiFPV.com. Tons of ways you can support me. A bunch of affiliate links. It's free money. If you're ever doing an order on Amazon, I know you're doing Amazon orders. I know it. We all are. When you do an Amazon order, hit my affiliate link before you do your order. There's no way you're going to remember to do that. So here's what you do. You go over to CiottiFPV.com. And you come down here to the Amazon affiliate link. You right-click it, and you type copy link address. Then you paste that link, and it doesn't work. Wait. So yeah, you just paste that link, and then you just make a bookmark, and make a bookmark that says Amazon. And then you use an Amazon bookmark. I don't use bookmarks anymore. I just type AMA into the chat. Not the chat. I just type AMA into the URL bar, and it goes to Amazon. So, like, that wouldn't work for me. Although there's probably a way to drive when you type AMA into going to this link. Isn't there a way of... Yeah, you can, like, remove... You can, like... I think you can, like, go to this... You can paste it and go to it, right? Paste it, go to it. Paste it, go to it. Like, I think if you go to that link a whole bunch of times, and then... Oh, I wasn't showing my screen. If you go to that link a bunch of times, right? Paste it and then load it, paste it and load it, whatever. I think if you go to that link a bunch of times, then from now on... Oh, but see, this is AMZ. So from now on, when you type AM for Amazon, if that's the way that you go to websites, you can have it, and you can, like, delete this. Like, this drives to my wish list here, and I can click this X and, like, delete it, you know? I don't know. You guys are better at computers than I am. That's how the internet works, friends. From a guy that's not that good at the internet. But I used to be good at the internet, man. When it first came out, I was a young 20-year-old whippersnapper. Paulie Lee FPV says, nice flying, my friend. Thank you, dude. I was on fire that day. That was me flying back in 2019, towards the end of 2019 in Charlotte. It's funny to look at that flight footage because the tune is not on. I was flying a heavier propeller, testing a heavier... I think it was an HQ 5 by 4.5, maybe? It was a heavier prop than I normally run, so the PID tune was a little soft. So there's a bunch of moments where there's, like, real subtle little wiggles and wobbles. That's the way most tunes were back in 2019, though. We didn't quite have the... You know what it is? We didn't have light enough propellers back in 2019. The Gemfan 51433 really changed things, as did the Ethics props. It really sped up the response time a significant amount, or shortened up the response time quite a bit, moving to this current crop of lighter weight propellers, and that really helped the PID loop quite a lot. Glenn Burnett says, nice ripping. Thank you, dude. Metal Dixon says, if you're ditching those T-Motor 0803s, I would buy them off of you just to finish the build I got going. Cool, Metal. I think we were talking about that 1 or 2 streams ago. Yeah, I'm probably... I am going to give them one more shot at Maggie's. Potentially this Sunday. Maybe this Friday, but definitely this Sunday I'll be at Studio 2. So basically, yeah, I'm going to fix this 0803 tonight with a fresh one, and then I'm not going to fly it. I'm not going to fly it. I'm just going to bring it with me, and then I'm going to fly it only on the live stream at Maggie's place in a bigger house. I flew a bunch of batteries with this here in my 900 square foot apartment, single floor apartment, and it makes no sense. The 65 millimeter whoops are better in every way. But Maggie's house is quite a bit bigger, and it's 2 floors. So I'm going to fly this there, and we'll see. I have a feeling that I'm going to break another motor shaft. I'm going to bring a bunch of batteries with me, and yeah, I think that's going to be the end result. But we'll see. Or what I think will happen is it just won't... Yarr! It just won't... it'll be too heavy. It's too heavy. It's too heavy. This is 50-something grams all up. No, it's not. It's lighter than that. Let's see. Where are the batteries for it? Here they are. So with the lightest weight battery, which is one of these little 1S 380s, which are good. I like these. With the lightest battery that will fit in this frame, basically, it is... What? What am I missing? One propeller, for sure. I thought it was way heavier than this. 38.7 grams. Versus... no. This one. Versus... What did I say? 38.7? This is with a 250... No. Yeah, with a 250. That's the lightest weight battery. This is the lightest weight battery. 30.1 grams. Why did I think that was so much heavier? 30.1 versus 38.7. I'll be damned. I must have been weighing it with the heavier... I didn't weigh it with this battery. Of course. I was weighing it with the only other batteries that I had, which are 450s. And I think these yellow GNB batteries are like lightweight. I think the yellow designates like lightweight. Yeah. With the 450s, it's 40-something grams. Yep, there it is. All right. 41.2 grams. Okay. Well, that's interesting. Sub 40 grams. Okay, I was just disgusted that it was like up in the 40 gram range. 38.8. Here's the problem, though. It's been really fragile. If it breaks, here's the annoying thing, though, is if I like the way that it flies, and I might. It does have more power than the 65 mil rigs. If I like the way that it flies, I bet you the next break is the last of the prototype motors. And at that point, I'll replace it and keep flying it. So hopefully I don't like how it flies, because I'm getting tired of testing tiny whoop stuff, if I'm completely honest. Like, it's kind of fun, but I'm really looking forward to settling on a... I really prefer flying the same thing over and over and over again, because, as we talk about all the time, it makes a big difference. and I really like the feeling that I get when I'm not paying attention to the rig itself or the prop or the, you know, because when I'm flying and I'm testing, all I'm paying attention to is what feels different, what feels different, what feels different. All right, I blipped the throttle. You know, when I came off the throttle, what did it do? Was there any difference in the pid tune? When I dig into the throttle slowly, does it build power in like a linear way? When I stab the throttle, how quickly does it react, right? Like the whole time I'm flying, that's all I'm thinking about is these testing parameters, right? And like, that's fun for a while, but what I really like is when you have that combo dialed in, you stop changing stuff, and you have multiple rigs with that same combo, and you just start flying. You stop testing, you stop thinking so much, and you just start flying. That is why I have on a switch, on my tiny whoops, I have a 3-position switch. All the way up is horizon mode, which I should probably take off of there. It's kind of worthless. I haven't used that in forever. I use it on the 5-inch rigs if I lose video or something like that, but I haven't used horizon or angle mode on a tiny whoop in forever. The middle position of that switch is OSD on, full OSD. All the way towards me on that switch is just the warnings. So I get a low battery warning, so I don't fly it until it just browns out. But there's no OSD. And I did that for 2 reasons. I did that to be able to capture DVR without ugly OSD elements all over it, right? If you want to do like a proper tiny whoop edit without having an HD tiny whoop, right? Or without having a tiny whoop that records on board, you're going to have the OSD on there. And I don't like the way that looks. It's just silly to not set it up in Betaflight to do that, right? But the other reason that I did that, and what I noticed from it, is that, yeah, without those OSD elements, you do sort of just fly. And that's a really magical kind of thing, and that's also when I fly the best, when I'm just fully, focused. And you know what it is? It's more immersive. You get more immersed in the flight, right? Because like there's nothing to remind you that you're flying a drone. You're just all that's happening, and like your brain focuses so hard because it's so hard to fly these things, right? That like our brain focuses so hard on what we're doing in that moment, that without that little reminder, you really just kind of fall into the goggles. And as I'm saying this now, I'm gonna put this on my 5-inch rigs. I don't think it makes sense to put it on a Cinewhoop, because with a Cinewhoop, I always need to know things like signal strength and RSSI, rather, link quality. Because so the 3-position, I do the same thing with my 3-position switch that's above my throttle. It's on my left hand. So what I do is I set horizon mode all the way up so that, God forbid, I lose video or there's just a panic situation where I just need the rig to level out. In order to do this, you have to calibrate your accelerometers every so often. When you plug your rig into the computer to change something in the PIDs, calibrate the accelerometer. You have to get into that habit. If I flick that switch all the way up, it goes into horizon mode. And this has saved me a bunch of times. When you pull that switch into the middle, I explained what it is on my tiny whoops, but on everything other than tiny whoops, the middle position is black box logging on with full OSD. And then the position all the way towards me is black box off, full OSD. So I don't necessarily want to lose that black box. I don't know. I'll figure it out. I might have a free. What do we fly? 8 channels? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I wonder if I have a free Switch. I don't know. Hey, let's do the giveaway. Hold on, let me get caught up on chat. What am I doing? B-Man says, what's good? North49RC says maybe a haircut would help. I mean, I thought so, North, but then my girlfriend grabbed it and whispered some things, and I was like, okay, nope. So I'm going to take her over you. She didn't whisper things. She just said them normally. And she just said, I like your hair. Long, like this. June Loco says, what's good? What's good, Collective? Bob Noxious says, what's up, Collective? And CiottiFPV. I've been getting stick time and crashing, but progress is being made. Very cool, man. It's the only way to do it. Dusty Joe says, so much better beer from Texas. Need to send you some. I really dig, like, sweet kind of beers, and I also really dig candied pecans. We have a local candied pecan that's just ridiculous that they sell in Publix. It's just outrageous. So this is, and I already kind of like Shiner as it is. So this is, yeah, this is perfect for me. You know, I need to drink this beer with those pecans. What do you guys say? Pecans, pecans, pecans. There's 4 ways to pronounce it. I don't really have a pronunciation. I feel like every time I say it differently. But I'm a Northeasterner that moved south 7 years ago. So my accent is straight. My dialect is becoming weird as well. Dusty Joe says so much. Chopper says no worries, boss. Ramdonko says burp peanut butter beers. Nice for beginners. Slim says what's up. B-Man FPV says you get my order on Teespring. So we talked about that. I can't tell. I don't know who ordered what on Teespring, but Dusty Joe. Well, yeah, I guess you guys can just type into chat which thing you bought. Whatever, we'll spin the wheel, we'll see what it comes up with, and then we'll figure it out. It's fine. B-Man ordered, Dusty Joe bought a Kill All Carbon shirt. Awesome, Dusty Joe. I love it, man. I know that not many of you guys are into cars, but those of you guys that are really into cars, what a fun shirt, right? Yeah, a lightning bolt struck my brain. Or this might have been CMYK's idea. CMYK did the design. I don't know whose idea it was. It might have been his idea. Might have been my idea. I don't remember. Maybe it was somebody in chat's idea. B-Man says, Clam hoodie is me, homie. Nice, B-Man. Nice. I saw that. I did. So, Clam hoodie. There we go. All right, so I can just put B-Man. We'll just do it for B-Man. Oh, fuck it. I'm just going to leave it Clayman hoodie. It's fine. I don't want to replace it the wrong number of times. Mindbender FPV says, sup, Ciotti. So I saw the title of the video wondering why install 357. Please explain. Mindbender, I just happened to see your comment. Normally, I only read the comments where people type CiottiFPV because when you type CiottiFPV, when you guys type CiottiFPV, it lights up in orange for me. So moving forward, like if you really want to make sure that I see your comment, because I almost missed it, just type CiottiFPV instead of just Ciotti, and I'll see your comment for sure. I talked about this at the beginning of the stream, but really quickly, this is an old flight controller where there is no target in 4.0, 4.1, 4.2, 4.3. 3.5.7 is the most recent target for it, and it's on Betaflight right now, so I can't change any of the settings. I can't even look at the settings with Betaflight, and I'm not going to find an old version of Betaflight. That's silly. Kevin Sumner says, oh boy, try Teespring on the M1. It'll probably be fine on the M1. Motherson says, I didn't order because I blew my budget this month, but I still think it's a fun idea. All right, cool. CMYK says, put a poll in the chat. I don't have the ability to do polls for some reason, CMYK. I think it's because I'm not a big enough channel. I feel like maybe at like 100,000 subs or something, they give you the ability to put a poll up. Because, it's the option is not where it should be. So, I don't, it's kind of annoying. June Logo says, what's wrong with 4.3? Nothing. It's the best firmware that we've ever seen in FPV. Schizophrenic FPV says, how many of those have you drank? Just this one. Just this one, but I'm extremely hungry. So it is, yeah. Kevin Sumner says, my wife just heard you stumble over your full-time job monologue and would like to know, is he on speed? No. No. No, it's just, I've been at Maggie's house for the last, like, 6 days, so I'm riding this high of endorphins and whatever the love chemicals are. Just in a good mood. Leave me alone. Bob Noxious says, I wonder how many brews there were before this one shown. Shh. Leave me alone. King Turkey says, see previous comment, forgot to tag you. Dude, don't we so apologize awkward about this. It's business management and certain income, which will anybody have to be able to understand. Do what I gotta do. I'm here for us. Thanks, dude. I appreciate it. Bob Noxious says, King Turkey is all over it. You're a good man. Did you earn a living? We're here to keep it going. Appreciate it. Wam says, where in Charlotte is that? I have no idea, Wam. I was at somebody's house, and I had my gear, and I just drove out and just looked for a business park, and I just happened to stumble across that, pulled over, flew it, and was out of there. I have no idea. And I just flew in that little ass area, and there's no signs, or I actually tried to figure out what it was, and I couldn't figure it out from the footage. So I have no clue. I think though it was somewhere near the airport. Not too close to the airport though. It was the exact right distance away from the airport. I think. Maybe not. Metal Dixon says, I just start typing AMA and it brings up that link to the Nut Grabber, which I know is your affiliate link. Nice! Alright, cool. So Metal Dixon has managed to achieve exactly what I was trying to show you guys how to do. Oh, good. I'm almost caught up. Here we go. June Logo says, recommendations on a radio SD card. Oh man, I use like the oldest, most useless one I had. I found like a 2 gig. I found like a 2 gig radio, little micro SD card, and I put that in my radio, and it's been perfect because you don't put anything of size on there. I guess it would be a real problem if that card shit the bed. No, I store everything internal. I don't store everything on the card itself, so I'd be fine. Come on. YouTube did the thing, of course. Okay, here we go. Susie Sinclair says yes or no. Yes or no what, Susie? Recommendation radio SD card. Corey Gamble says Sharkbite has option DVR with or without OSD. That's pretty cool. Come on now. Okay. That's pretty slick. Oh, that makes sense because the OSD is being handled on the goggle side basically, rather than on the flight controller. That's interesting. I never thought about that. Ramdongo says, have you been catching Oliver Tree this week? I don't even know what Oliver Tree is. What's that? Schizophrenic FPV says, Southerners say pecans. Pecans is northern. Ah, interesting. Okay. Kevin Sumner says pecan. Sounds like the late night. Quad Killer says, what's up? Did you get to see any of Whooptopia? I didn't. Whooptopia was somehow just... Because racing, like, I just don't pay any attention to racing in any way, shape, or form. So Whooptopia, like, I didn't even realize that it was going on or was a thing until I scrolled past on Facebook, winner of Whooptopia is so-and-so. I was like, oh, wow, okay. EE Doc says, I hear some guy did really good there for his first race. Quad Killer, did you do really well? Tell us. Andrew Duncan says, did I miss a spin? Nope, it's coming up, Andrew. I'm just trying to get caught up on chat. I was about to say real quick, but it's never real quick. Ramdongo says, can you bind/run a little ELRS antenna by changing the Tango 2 to 915 for... I have no idea, Ram. I don't know anything about ELRS. It sounds like you could, though, right? Like, an antenna is an antenna. Like, an antenna that's tuned for 915. If you want 858 and you put one that's tuned for 858, I would think it would be okay. And I guess unless it's done on the PDB, basically, right? Like, is it done in the antenna or is it done... Somebody in chat will know the answer to that. Hey, here's Ramdonko's comment. I'm going to copy it and paste it so it's easy for you guys to see. Somebody in chat will know the answer to this. There it is. Somebody in chat, be an overachiever Nexus in the universe tonight and show us how much you know. I'm almost caught up. Ramdonko says, toast and jam equals soak it up. What does that mean? EEDoc says, the two most common motors at Whooptopia were Happy Model EX0802 25,000. Really? And Newbie Drone Plaids. Wow, everybody's running the 25,000s. I'll be damned. And I guess the EX0802 is the one-piece bell, right? That's interesting. That's super... That, you know, I'm not surprised by that, though, because that's what SR13 told me way long ago. He tested a bunch of the 0802 25... Well, not a bunch. I mean, there's only really the tiny whoops and the happy models. But he'd also tested a bunch of the other 0802 motor KVs. And, yeah, I remember him telling me that the happy models are just, like, magical. And not only do they hold up really well, other than the magnet ring dropping, which they've fixed now in the one-piece bell. But yeah, and I've had good luck with them. I'm really interested. Hey, Joshua Bardwell, thank you. I know you're not watching, but show Joshua some love next time you can. He sent me his blown up V3 Acro B from not from Whooptopia, from the other Whoop event in Knoxville. So this is going to be the this is going to become the 2S, same thing as the Insta360 Go 2 carrier. I'm going to build a second one out of this AIO because apparently Newbie Drone put some time and effort into making this AIO handle 2S better. And I can see it. There's like a heat sink they put on the bottom here. It's pretty cool. I'll show you guys in the bench. Well, you guys will see it in the bench cam when I'm building this, because I'll build this, of course, on stream. So yeah, very, very cool of Joshua. He's one of the most generous human beings I've ever met. And just, I consider Joshua to be my mentor. I don't think he knows it. But yeah, I've sort of made him my mentor without him realizing it. And as far as mentors go, he's a good one. He's a good one. So yeah, we're gonna turn this into that, and then depending on what that's gonna free up an AIO, a Newbie Drone AIO, and I'm gonna put these Tiny Whoop 0802 25,000s on it. And then we can head-to-head the Happy Model 0802's 25,000s versus the Tiny Whoop 25,000s. And I'm excited about that. That'll be cool. The Tiny Whoop 25,000s are a one-piece bell. Ideally, what I really hope happens is they're exactly the same. That I really, really, really hope that they're exactly the same. Because then I won't have to change anything, and you guys will just be able to buy the Tiny Whoop ones whenever they're in stock. You know, we want to support Jesse Perkins if these are as good, right? Rather than supporting Happy Model. So, but I digress. Kevin Sumner says, see Duncan Williams' question above. There it is. Duncan Williams, if you type CiottiFPV into the chat, it'll light up an orange for me, and I'll read your comment. The OG guys look for good questions And then if they see that I'm not tagged in the good question, they do exactly what Kevin Sumner did. Duncan Williams says, hey, Ciotti, looking to buy some new motors and a 65mm racing whoop. What are your thoughts and suggestions? I don't know the hot combination for racing whoops. All of the whoops that I build are for freestyle. It's probably pretty similar. For me, for the freestyle whoops, I really like the Newbie Drone clear cockroach frame or the Beta 65. I really like the cockroach frame. I'm not going to talk about the Beta frame yet because I haven't spent enough time on it. But cockroach frame, Newbie Drone Acro B board with the Happy Model 0802 25,000 kV motors. That's the hot setup in my opinion. And then you do GN27, the new Newbie Drone connector. Get the new Newbie Drone batteries that have the black connector. That's going to be a ridiculous setup. Kevin Sumner says, I need Jesse to get the bottle rocket motors back in stock for real. It's been months. Yeah, I talked to him at the end of last year, and I asked him when the Zeus juices are going to be back in stock, and he said they're in production right now. So, yeah. Doc says the crazy thing was no consensus on which board to run. 8 different boards. Wow. In the top 16 racers. I didn't even know that there were 8 different boards. Wow. That's not surprising, to be completely honest, because the board doesn't matter. The board doesn't, there's no flight difference between one board and the next. It's just durability, in my opinion. Because, they're all F4. They're all F4 processors, and they're probably all running Betaflight, right? So, that's interesting, though. Wow. Doc says, I was at Whooptopia, did well enough to be eliminated by Vanadium and Evan Turner. Wow, nice, Doc. Jesus. That's impressive as hell. Schizophrenic FPV says, if I didn't have the Tiny Whoop bottle rockets 27,000 kV, I'd fly the Happy Model 25,000 kV. Hey, Schizophrenic FPV, have you been flying for a while? Do you feel comfortable being able to remove placebo and get here's what I want to know. It sounds like you have the 27,000 kV motors. I'm really curious if those motors prefer the basically I wonder if the GemFan 4-blade is too much propeller for that high of a kV. So basically what I would love to know, and I did a giveaway for the rig that I had with those motors. Christ, you might be the one that won it, I forget. But yeah, there's a chance that 27,000 kV is too high of a kV for the 4-blade GemFans. I don't remember testing that on that motor. I'm trying to figure out what the max kV. I'm just trying to dial in my mental picture of the different KVs, how they perform on each different Tiny Whoop propeller, and how they perform in how each different motor performs. I'm curious, when an 0802 will run out of steam, basically. Is it 25,000 kV? Is it 27? Is it 30? So, yeah. So, the question that I would have for you is, if you go from a 4-blade GemFan to a 3-blade GemFan on that motor, can you feel a difference? Does the 4-blade still make more thrust? And then the second part to that question would be, do you take a big hit in runtime between the 3 and the 4-blade? Realistically, between a 3 and a 4-blade, my guess would be a 10-second, maybe 15-second change in runtime should happen. If it was a 30-second difference in runtime, basically what that means is that the 4-blade prop is too much for 27,000 kV. So yeah. If you're an experienced enough pilot, I would love to know your thoughts on that. If it's your first year of flying, you're probably still stuck in this unbelievably hard to ditch placebo of every change that you make. You kind of think you feel a difference, but you didn't really feel a difference. It's really hard to tell a difference in these rigs because we're not sitting in them. We only have our vision to figure it out. And that's a very inexact kind of thing. So the placebo is strong in FPV. I'm caught up on the chat. Let's see who won this big old giveaway. Schizophrenic FPV says, you're correct. I fly the 27,000 with the 1210 A-Van. 1210 A-Van. So that's the 4-blade A-Van. So those motors are probably great because that's a lower pitch prop. The 4-blade gem fans are almost double the pitch. I think they're a 19 pitch. Let's see who won the goddamn giveaway. What do you guys say? Ready? Let's see if somebody from... This could be a little frustrating for me, or this could be very joyous for me. Here we go, friends. This is perfect. I always do the giveaways halfway through the stream, and it's 8:55 p.m. Beautiful. Somebody's going to win a little bit of a different giveaway that I did this time. But they're going to win 2 of these big, beefy Betaflight frames with the 4 motor holes for bigger motors. This one's glow in the dark. The fancy canopy for... Oh, shitters. 2 of these frames. This one's glow in the dark. The fancy canopy that holds the Caddx Tarsier that's in here. VTX. 2 of these 300 mAh 3S batteries. A Betaflight F4 2-4S 12 amp AIO. A brand new set of Newbie Druin 1202 11,420 kV motors. Set of gem fan props. And an XM receiver. Everything that you need to build a rockin' little tiny whoop that'll get HD footage, and the lenses are far enough forward that there's not even any like ducts in view, so you get like, you know, really nice HD footage. And the Caddx Tarsier is a great camera. It is hands down the most frustrating camera to use that's ever been devised. Just the way that you need to, if you want to change settings, so just, you know, just leave my settings on there, or put your settings in that you want, just leave them alone, and then it's totally fine. You plug in a battery, it starts recording. The end. But fair warning, whoever wins this, when you have to change settings, you're gonna get frustrated. It's just silly. You gotta like connect it to Bluetooth and Wi-Fi, and the application crashes a lot, and it's insane. There's a reason why the RunCam Hybrid is still being sold and the Caddx Tarsier is not. Hybrid has a little bit better HD, but not that much. And the Tarsier has a better FPV camera. Ready? Here it is, friends. This giveaway ended 2 days ago, in case anybody was wondering. Somebody's going to win all that stuff, and that person's name is... Please be a name. Please be a name. No. Oh, it's not going to be a name. Wait, here we go. Congratulations, Kill All Carbon. You've won. I think somebody in the chat said I bought the Kill All Carbon shirt. Hey, Stingy, what's up, brother? I haven't seen you in a while. Gimme, I needs it. So who ordered this shirt from Teespring? If you just joined, I did a contest where, which I ran last week, where for every $5 you spent on my Etsy store, my Fiverr page, or my Teespring store, you got on the wheel. Well, I didn't know that Teespring doesn't tell you the names of the people that do orders. They just tell you what was ordered. So half this wheel, look at half this wheel. Congratulations, Kill All Carbon. Look at the wheel down here. See it down here? I had to just add the name of the things that the people bought to the wheel. So Kill All Carbon Purple, the Kill All Carbon purple shirt. I think that luckily, I think that somebody earlier on in the live stream in the chat says I ordered the Kill All Carbon shirt. This exact shirt. Whoever ordered this exact shirt, I need you to contact me and send me a just take a little screenshot of your email receipt and just send me that to show me that you bought the purple shirt. I didn't hit the shuffle button, but it doesn't matter because this has been a very, very random wheel. We've never had issues with this wheel. Who was it? Chat. Do you guys remember? Is it gonna let me scroll up high enough? Nah, of course not. Well, maybe. Hold on. Let me do a quick find. Kill all carbon. Hey, it's Dusty Joe! I knew it! Alright, so here's the thing, though. Dusty Joe, there were 2 Kill All Carbon shirts. One in purple, one in gold. Which one did you get, Dusty Joe? Are you still in here? Here, let me type at Dusty. He is. Dusty Joe. Yo. Holy crap, that makes my life so much easier. Dusty Joe, come back to the keyboard, yo! Let me scroll up and get caught up on chat. Hopefully Dusty Joe will join us. Kevin, how you been, man? What's new? Tell us tell chat some secrets. I was such a dark presence here in Atlanta that as soon as I moved here, Stinger Storm moved away. It's not true. It's not true. Kevin got Stinger Storm's real name is Kevin, just in case anybody's not keeping score. Kevin got a wonderful opportunity up in Tennessee, which I don't know much about, but from what he told me about it was one of those. Yeah, I mean, you don't like if you're gonna move multiple states away for a job, it's gonna be a really good job. You know what I mean? So it was kind of one of those, and yeah, that's amazing. That's doesn't happen often. You know, I've never had that happen. I've never had a job opportunity so good that it warranted moving, and people around me have, and I've always been very jealous of it because that's, yeah, like having a really good I can. When I worked for disc makers, that was a pretty amazing job. What I've been doing for the last year and a half, is a pretty amazing job. And yeah, having a job that you love is a real thing. It's a real gift in life, and it's really something to really go for. It's really, really worth it. Like no matter what you have to do to get that, in my opinion, it's worth it. And again, it's very rare. It's very, very, very rare. All right, let's get caught up on chat here. Hopefully Dusty Joe will come back to the keyboard and tell me if he got a gold or a purple Kill All Carbon shirt. GNB27, that's it. Thank you, Schizophrenic, for typing that into the chat. 661 says, have you seen the new Mobula 7 1S just released yesterday? 0802 20,000 1.5mm shaft motors, new flight controller, 12 amp 1S, 400 milliwatt VTX, and ELRS. I did not. Or if I did, yeah, I did. I didn't realize that they are 1.5mm shaft motors. That is pretty great. But 0802s, I did see that. They put 0802s on it. Here's the thing. So they put 0802s with bi-blades, which that'll work, but that for me, that doesn't make enough thrust. On this 75mm freestyle frame, you know, this is the equivalent to that. I've got 0803 22,000 kV motors, and I would still like a little bit more power. So going down to an 0802 20,000 kV motor, that's no good. That's wild that they put a 400 milliwatt VTX on it, though. Yikes. Great that it's got ELRS built in. Man, I would love to test that rig. I would love to test that rig. Damn. Because that rig is going to be significantly lighter than this, but it's also got significantly less power. I can't possibly imagine that rig would have better power to rate, or that I would enjoy flying it more than this. But I don't know. I'm really dialed in on the 65mm whoop stuff. I'm not so much on the 75mm whoop stuff. So, Schizophrenic says, you're correct. I fly the 27,000s on the 1210A van. Here we go. Now I'm caught up. EEDoc says, TDOG who won Whooptopia had an interesting build in that he put on... No way. What? He put on Tiny Whoop 27,000 kV motors on all but one, and a 25,000 kV on the other. Apparently the 27,000 is too much strain, but... What? That's wild. That doesn't make any sense, though, because the 25,000 would... That's weird. E-Doc says... Oh, but the 27,000s are a lighter motor. That's really weird. Oh my god, is that strange. Schizophrenic FPV says, I get 140-ish on the 27,000s versus 2+ minutes on the 25,000s. Good lord. That's a big difference. E-Doc says, the other funny thing about his build is he's using the Happy Model ELRS AIO, which doesn't have clock to do ELRS and an accelerometer at once, so his whoop doesn't even do angle mode. Oh, that's fine. I mean, if he's flying an acro, it doesn't matter, right? That's wild, though. I didn't realize ELRS put more of a strain on the processor. That's interesting. Huh. I guess it's because of the refresh rate, right? That's wild. Wow, that's wild. Kevin Sumner says, Dusty Joe. Michael Blade says, hey man. 661 says, have you seen the new... Oh yeah, we got that. Ram Donko says, call Hin out. I'm so glad. I hope Dusty Joe ordered the right shirt. I hope it was him. Kevin Sumner says it was Dusty Joe at 8:15. Thanks for checking. Can't believe I found it. Neek FPV says, what motors do we recommend for a 4-inch freestyle build around 400 grams all-up weight? 400 all-up weight. What are you carrying, a DJI Action 2? That's a cool build. I really want to do a 4-inch build and carry an Action 2, but that's silly. That's like a $600-700 build for no real reason. I don't like the way that camera looks. I think a 2004 would still be the best bet. The 2004s on 4-inch props are just awesome. I don't know if I've flown that exact combo at 400 grams all up. I think I was a little lighter. I think I was like 320, 330. But man, it had a ton of power. Yeah, I'm going to say 2004. Axis Flying makes a 2004 that's 3750 kV, I think it is, and then you can run it on 4S. Don't do 5 or 6S. It's there's no real benefit. 4S 850 mAh batteries, or the 1000 mAh GNBs, and yeah, try to get as high of a kV 2004 as you can, and you'll dig it. That'll make good power. Scrolling, looking for Dusty Joe. I'm just going to keep saying his name over and over. 661FPV says, also, have you seen the new 1S HD0 VTX? Nick Burns posted a video today. I saw that video in my thumbnails. I did not have a chance to watch it when I got home today. But I will be watching it tonight. That's interesting. It's a gigantic VTX, though, and it's a big, heavy VTX, so I kind of already know what that It's too heavy. It's going to be... Well, we can look. What's that weigh? HD 0 Whoop VTX. Right, so here it is at Race Day Quads. So that weighs... Yeah, see, that's insane. It's 5.9 grams. Like, that's ridiculous. That's a 6... No, 6 grams is too much. That, you know, you end up with... Well, I guess if your plan is to collect the HD, if the whole point is to get HD footage, and you're okay with the quality of the shark bite footage, okay. But I don't think anybody's going to do that. The shark bite footage doesn't look great, right? So yeah, that's too much of a performance hit, in my opinion. 6 grams on a tiny whoop is a lot. It's just too much of a performance hit for me to justify being able to see a little bit better, especially on a tiny whoop where they only go 1 mile an hour, so you don't really need to see. You know, like, it's obvious when you hit something, you know it because it took you 20 minutes to get to it. All that being said, it would be cool to fly around in the house in HD. But, man, these digital VTXs are just so goddamn heavy for micros. It's nuts. You know what I saw on Chris Rosser's most recent toothpick video is you can make a Vista naked and then just file out the outside of the holes a little bit and fit M2, if you use M2 hardware on a toothpick frame with the Whoop dimensions, what is it, 25.5 by 25.5, it works. They'll just barely catch the holes. That's pretty cool. But the Vista's even heavier. The Vista's a fat bottom girl. So yeah, that's even more of a hit. But again, it would be fun to just cruise around inside an HD. But I would get frustrated. I would get frustrated because the analog whoops are ridiculous right now. Like the stuff that you can do in the house is nuts. And adding 6 to... My guess is a naked Vista probably weighs about 8 or 9 grams. Adding 6 to 8 grams to that kills it. It turns it into... You know what it turns it into? Is a brushed whoop. It turns it into the power to weight ratio of a brushed whoop. And... Yeah, that's not... I would get bored with that. Is really... Because I remember getting bored with brushed whoops. They were great for when I was just getting stick time and just learning to fly. But then as soon as I got decent at flying, it was just, I felt handcuffed being like kind of two-dimensional. That's basically you lose this throw ability. Where you do like a throttle blip and then just chuck it up into the air, right? And you end up just flying in 2 dimensions, forward, backwards, left, and right. You can raise altitude and you can lower altitude, but you can't like throw and you can't like drop and you can't do dives and stuff like that. And yeah, that would drive me nuts, I think. And it's also too much of a weight penalty to try to then also carry an HD camera, like an Insta360 Go 2, to get proper HD, right? So that kind of goes out the window. Realistically, you'd want to move up to a 2-inch prop whoop to do that. Problem there becomes the ducts come into view because the ducts are getting bigger and bigger and bigger. So then you try to push the camera forward. Well, then you need more power because you rely on the front motors. It's a snowball that rolls downhill, and then you're at 2.5 inch. And that's why there's so many 2.5-inch naked GoPro carriers. Know what I mean? 3.5 grams. What? Kevin Sumner says, did you see the HD0? I didn't read the end of the comment. I heard 3.5 grams for it. That's a much more realistic weight increase. Still a lot, though. That's still a lot on a tiny whoop. That would take an 0802 25,000 kV tiny whoop and make it feel like an 0802 18,000 kV tiny whoop. And it would make it slide around a bunch more. But on a 75 millimeter tiny whoop, that might be able to handle that extra 3.5 grams, if that's what it weighs, and still be really, really fun. Wild. Some cool stuff coming out lately. We had a little lull where like not a lot of cool shit came out, but we've got a bunch of cool stuff lately. Huh. Oh, I'm way behind on chat. Let's get caught up here. Am I not going to get any work done? This is just going to be a giveaway, and no, here, let me move the chat over. Fair warning, there's a chance that I won't read your message, because I do need to, I hate putting stream thumbnails out there and titles out there, especially on the Facebook, and then the stream doesn't have what the title of the stream is. Okay, I'm going to try my best. Oh, I'm going to save this. I have a mailbag to do, but I'm going to save it because it's already 9:15. So we're going to do a mailbag opening on Friday. It's going to have a bunch of stuff in it. You guys are going to love it. You guys really are going to love it. You'll see. It's got things in it that you've been asking for from me for a long time, which is why you're going to love it. Okay. So, look at that V3. Oh, hey, here's the little jib jab that I was telling you about on the V3. Let's pull this apart real quick, like. Ooh, you know what I'm going to try on one of these Insta360 Go carrying rigs? Now that I've got 2S on BT 2.0, I'm going to try 0802s. I'm pretty sure I know the answer to this, but there is technically a chance that with a 2S on BT 2.0, that an 0802 will make, I'll choose like a really high KV one, like a 20,000 KV, and I won't really turn it down all that much. There's a chance that it will make enough power to carry that Insta360 Go 2 confidently. I really doubt it. I really, 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 really doubt it. But there is a chance. So what you're saying is there's a chance. Like I said, though, I'm not going to hold my breath. But we'll see. We will see. That'll be an easy little test to do. Look at that. Look at that. See that? That's a big old heat sink. I don't know what it's for, but I like it. Maybe that heat sink will allow this V3 Acro B board to become really reliable on 2S. I'll let you know. Because this board and this build is going to be the main 75 mil Insta360 Go carrier that I use. So I'm going to take this thing to like weird and funny spots and like do gorilla whooping stuff, and I'm really looking forward to it. So yeah, that lives up there now. Okay, I'm going to try to read comments and screw screws. That doesn't need to be taken apart. What does this? Oh god, I have to solder on this. Oh, no. No. Okay. Getting chat going here. The SPI receiver, Middle Dirtskin says, the SPI receiver works the F411 pretty hard. If it was an external one, it would be the same as any other. Oh, right. The Whoop boards that have the ELRS built in. I don't know, man. At a half a gram, I almost for the ceramic antennaed ELRS receivers, they only weigh a half a gram. At that weight, why are we putting the ELRS receivers on the AIOs? Just put the VTX on the AIO and let it rip up to 400 milliwatts, and then yeah. And that is basically what these newbie drone boards are. And it's one of the reasons that I really like these newbie drone Acroby boards. So yeah. All the bias. None of the cookies. I wonder if I can not pull this any farther apart and do this without losing my mind. Usually trying to solder to these AIOs while they're still in the frame like this is just maddening. But usually I'm doing, previously I was doing all 4 motors. Like in this case I'm just doing 1, so maybe I can, but the problem is that like it's kind of janky and like you don't end up doing really good work and kind of looks terrible. Did I have another frame I was gonna put this in? No, right? Because that other frame won't take these batteries. Yeah. No, this will stay in this frame. So it's this motor over here. Oh god, chat. 6S1FPV says 1S HD0 VTX will be under 4 grams. Oh, that's right. It's a 1S. It's a 1S VTX. That's the new thing about it. That's the difference. Oh, wow. 4 grams. Under 4 grams. So I mean, if they say under 4 grams, I assume they mean 4 grams, right? Realistically. Wow. But then the camera's going to be heavier too, right? So I think, realistically, where are we going to be? Chat, 5 grams? That's a lot. That's interesting. You know what'll be what I'm really fascinated to find out is, will a racer be able to win with that extra 5 grams because they can see farther ahead? That's basically what's been happening in 5-inch racing, right? HD0 is winning over analog. Oh, for fuck's sake. Really? Come on now. I wonder if the same thing will happen with Tiny Whoop. My guess is no. My guess is that Tiny Whoops are so slow that analog will always win. But, man, I can totally see myself being dead-ass wrong about that. Oh, I cannot wait. I mean, I feel like somebody's going to do that test right away. You know what I mean? That'll be a really cool test. Chris Croft says the new one... Oh, we got that. 661 says, just watching this burn video explains. Footage looks amazing. Grizz FPV says the HD0 Whoop VTX will be around 3.5. Alright, looks like everybody watched that video but me. Robert Jagrev X says, Nick was testing a prototype, not for sale yet. Reducing the weight on it. Schizophrenic FPV says, my Big Bertha is a naked Vista Whoop. I posted it in your Discord a few streams ago. Very cool. Naked Vista Whoop. It's got to be so tall. That's the problem with the Vistas. They're too damn tall. Schizophrenic says, flies like a can, and it is very gimmicky. Yeah. Yeah, too tall, too heavy. Right, 9 with a 10 Australian dollars super chat. He says, my girl wants music while she cleans, so I gotta go. Love y'all. Thanks, Riot 9. You're probably already gone, but everybody go sub to Riot 9's channel. Let's give him a little subscribe, a little surprise. Go give Riot, RYET9, no space. Go give him a subscription. He's a great guy. He's always in the chat. He's always very generous. Cool dude. Great comments. Pays attention. Ramdago says, the Karate Kid would be angry. Fun, fun, fun. What? What does that mean? Metadixon says, Rosser's toothpick video kind of validates why the GTB 339 flies so good anyway. What's the GTB 339? I'm so pissed. I just finished up this goddamn TP3. I'm probably gonna switch it over into Rosser's frame, to be totally honest. What's the GTB 339, Metal? And I didn't watch Chris's whole video. I just kind of fast forwarded through it. I'm gonna watch it all the way through tonight. Schizophrenic FPV says the ELRS devs are working on a Betaflight pass-through with the onboard Wi-Fi chip in ELRS, so you can connect to Betaflight via Wi-Fi. That's super slick. That's really, really slick. 661 says, way too, HD01, what SVTX, way too heavy for 65, minimum 75, yeah. Kenny Kobe says, is there anything I can dip my frame into to make it sturdy? Nope. It's a 4S. It's a 4S Whoop, but the battery is heavy, and when I hit stuff, the plastic can't keep up. Oh, that's interesting. I thought you were talking about a carbon fiber frame, Kenny. Whew! It's an interesting question. It's a tall order. What it sounds like you need is a carbon fiber brace. But then the motors are going to start breaking. The motor shafts are going to start breaking. Unless it's a 1.5 mil shaft motor. What would stiffen up? I don't really... I can't think of anything that would stiffen plastic up. I mean, 4S is just way too much for a Whoop. Here's the other thing, Kenny. That's going to be a meme rig no matter what, because a tiny Whoop powertrain is for the same reason that 6S makes no sense with 3-inch micro rigs. 4S makes no sense on a tiny Whoop. There are no tiny Whoop motors, propellers, all up weights that are going to benefit from 4S. So yeah, I would throw that rig up on like FPV Exchange and just move it along, because somebody will buy it for the meme factor, you know. But it sounds like you're looking to actually fly hard, and yeah, that rig is not going to do you any favors. So I would move that thing along to a meme lord, and they'll love it, and then you can join the land of the living here with the rest of it. Doesn't make any sense. You know what I'm saying? You like that, June Loco? I'm gonna start. I've gotten a little lazy on some like housekeeping kind of stuff. Namely thumbnails. Like I have a bunch of thumbnails that work fine, but thumbnails are really, really, really important. And using the same thumbnail a bunch, like over and over and over again, is not a great idea. So I'm gonna be making much. Yeah, I'm only gonna use thumbnails like maybe once or twice, like I used to. And yeah, because things are slowing down. The Patreon channel is really shrinking, and yeah. So I just want to kick it up a notch, so you guys will see some more silly shit. Here's a question for folks that are in chat that are not on my Discord. What could I put on my Discord that would convince you to join? That is a question that if you answer, I will be so grateful. Like anybody that's willing to answer that question, you are a champion. You're a champion of the light. I forget what the line is from the Dayman song. It might be that. It might be Champion of the Light. Oh! Tinning up these 0803s so that I can painstakingly direct solder them so the newbies are on board. Oh, Metal Dirt Skin. Yeah, none of these 0803s are going to come with motor connectors connected. Sorry, dude. If you're as dumb as I am and willing to direct solder whoop motors, that won't matter. But more than likely is you're much more intelligent than I am and refuse to direct solder whoop motors. Kenny Kobe says, no, you're right, the motors break. Yeah. It's interesting that I can't believe I haven't found... It's interesting finding weak points in a system. I'll just say that. It happens in motorsport constantly. And to some extent it happens in FPV, but it doesn't happen all that often. Smooth and Groovin says 3-inch Apex Vista on 6S, 320 all-gram weight. Would stripping 30 grams make that much of a difference? Absolutely. It's super quick and flies pretty damn good already. Just want your opinion. 30 grams is a lot, Smoothin. You got to think of percentages. What percentage of 320 is 30? It's roughly 10%, I want to say, right? So that's a 10% weight savings. So now blow that up to 5-inch freestyle, 600 gram rig. That's the same thing as adding or subtracting 60 grams. Right, that's a lot. That's a big 10% is a big difference. I probably did that math wrong, but Kenny Kobe says my Cetus Pro is awesome. 1S450. Smooth Groovin says about to GPS it tomorrow out of my own curiosity at current all up weight. Kevin Sumner says put yourself on your Discord. What's that mean? Metal Dirson says it's okay. Deep down, I know I should direct start them. Just a little extra suffering. Ramdago says, well, I want BT 2.0, but will they send me more equals who said industry standard? Lead Slinger says, the Zing 0803 motors have connectors. Yeah. Hey, I have a set of the Zing 0803s on the way. I'm very excited. I thought they were going to be here today, and I was going to put them here. Off the Ground says that's the $1 million question. LOL. Yeah, I know. I don't expect anybody to answer that question, but that's why I'm saying, like, if anybody does, that would be ridiculous of you. But yeah, it's hard for me to kind of figure that out, right? Like, yeah, I don't know. Like, it's such a challenge trying to figure out where I should spend my time. That's really the thing that at this point I struggle the most with, and that is very closely tied to what's the stuff that people value the most. And anytime I ask you guys that, the only real responses that I get are just keep doing what you want to do, because when you do that, it's the most fun to watch. And that's kind of like the most flattering thing ever. But it also like doesn't answer the, like, I still have the question, you know, like I that doesn't answer the question. But it does. But at the same time, it does answer the question. I don't know. It's like, I want an answer, goddammit, but like I'm getting the best answer ever, so it's just like, what? It's almost like surreal. Like, what? No. Alright, here we go. Let me, this is going to be kind of a challenging little solder job because like absolutely everything is in the way. So forgive me, I'm going to go a little quiet here while I sort of focus on doing this. But I'm going to knock it out as quickly as I can. I know you guys are really not going to be able to see it. One of the things I hate about the helping hands is that it makes it really hard for you guys to see what I'm doing. Don't blame me. It's not my fault. Alright, I got the first one done, but unfortunately, I wasn't really thinking about it, and I did the one closest towards me. So now I'm going to have to cross the tip of the soldering iron over the one that I just did, which is going to be a pain in the ass. You always want to go from farthest away to closest. I'm going to make that same mistake again. Actually, the way I'm going to get around that is I'm going to send the tip of the soldering iron in from the front. Ready? Look. Here's how I'm going to get around that. This is not like a best practice, though. Best practice is to go outside in. Farthest away. Well, basically, for somebody that's right-handed, you go left to right. Alright, this is going pretty well. And coming in at that different angle is totally fine, so. Alright, third one, real quick here. Let's just get this knocked out. Come on. Stay right there, stay right there, stay right there, stay right there. Yeah, there we go. Gotcha, bitch. Ah, I missed it. Dropped it, rather. There it is, though. Okay. Come on now. Stay up here. Stay up here, friend. Come on now. Stay up here. Yeah. Stay right there. Stay right there. Stay. Come on. Do you guys talk to your shit when you work on it? When it's being fiddly? Is that just me? Am I crazy or is it all of us? All of us? Okay, cool. Here we go. Oh, balls, come on. Hey, that should be good. Let's have a look. Always check your work with a 5X loop if you don't have one. If you scroll down in the video description of any of my videos into the tools section, there's an Amazon affiliate link to one. Click that link, buy that, and then also add to your cart everything else on Amazon. So I get 1% of every item on Amazon. Well, it just looks terrific. That's just wonderful. Let's put it back together. And not fly it. I'm not even going to test hover it. Because if I test hover it, I'm going to go, well, I can just fly it around the apartment once. And then I break this goddamn motor shaft. Guaranteed. I'm not in love with these motor shafts breaking. That is a shitty failure point. Hey, we've got a couple of people in the chat that are very knowledgeable about whoops. Is it just me with the 75 mil whoops breaking these 1mm motor shafts? Have you guys heard of that? Kenny Kobe, you don't count. Putting a 4S battery on a whoop is absolutely going to break the motor shafts, like unquestionably. But I wonder if that's like, I don't know. I'm like shocked I've never run into that before. It makes sense. 1mm is not a lot. But I'm also kind of curious if it's just these T-Motor 0803s, right? Like, I've never had that happen before. In fairness, I've never really flown 75mm whoops, which are heavier. It also could have just been because of the Cockroach 75 frame. That's totally a possibility. I don't know. Is it a thing? My whoops are kind of on the fat side. But they're not that fat. do you guys think? Anybody? Ram Dago says that frame breaks. Yeah, I know, Ram, but this is not a rig that's staying together. This is just an experiment. This is an experiment to see if these motor shafts will hold up, and an experiment in whether or not I like the way 75mm rigs fly. I'm thinking no so far. So the motor shaft is stuck in this propeller. So let me see if I can get it out. This is one of the times where I love this neoprene FPV crate work surface here. So check this out, right? I can just take like a little skinny Allen driver and just ram it in the top. And because this surface is kind of squishy and neoprene-y, I can just smack this and it kicks the... it allows the... I actually have an even smaller... yeah, that's even better. Because I just want to push on the shaft. I don't want to wallow out the hole. Yeah, I can just smack this, and it'll just push that. It'll just push it down. I mean, it leaves a little mark, but who cares? And now the motor shaft. Although this is a fairly... I should just throw this propeller away. This is not really an advantage of this work surface. It's just... Because nobody is ever going to do what I just did. That's absolutely ridiculous to spend any time saving one tiny whoop propeller. Although tiny whoop propellers are kind of expensive. I think they're like $1 per. Isn't it like $4 for a set of 4 tiny whoop propellers? For what they are, they're kind of expensive. All right, so this thing is back together, and no, it's not. The canopy isn't even remotely screwed on. What do we got going on here in chat? I got a little bit behind on chat. 661 says, is that the Whoop Bardwell crashed and lost video in that Whoop race? Did you test that flight controller? Yes, this is the one, that one. No, I did not test it. Let me at least... Well, I'm going to build it with... I'm going to build it plug and play. So I won't invest a ton of time in it. Because I'm going to use this to see if 0802 motors on 2S make enough power to pick the Insta360 go up. So that'll be a quick little put together, and then so if it doesn't work, I won't be furious to the point of a murderous rampage. Kevin Sumner says, I mean, hang out more on your Discord like Nick Burns does on his. Oh man, I've tried to hang out on Discord more. I don't know. Discord just isn't in like my my rotation of things that I check. And yeah, I don't know. It's just hard for me to spend time on there. Like, I think I need to get off of... I'm on a million different Discord channels, so like every 3 seconds it like makes the noise and goes nutso, and I guess I could like mute them or something. But yeah, I don't know. I'm just not on Discord much, and Discord isn't even really a Patreon perk. Like you can, although I guess I could, a couple of the text there are a couple secret Patreon only text channels, so I guess I would hang out in those more. Yeah. See, I always just assume that people, if they need me, they'll just message me, Patreon message me, right? But Discord is a little bit more public, and you know, tagging someone in a public place feels a little bit. Yeah, you feel like you're bothering that person less, basically, right? It's almost like texts versus phone call. Phone call is kind of like a private direct message. Text is like a @tagging somebody on Instagram or Facebook or Discord. Now it's back together. Look at that, and it's 9:43. Wow. I mean, I guess I could, if I were to start hanging out in Discord more, I would be tempted to turn Discord into a Patreon only perk, like what Joshua has. I almost did that in the first place, but I realized that I wouldn't be spending much time on Discord, so I made the majority of it open to anybody. Also, it allowed me to get there's like 600, there's almost 700 people on my Discord, so it allows me to do the @ everyone, and yeah, make a little noise for a lot more people than just patrons, you know. And then that drives more people here. I like the idea that I like a lot of people being able to get a lot of my content for free. I really do. Because I've been broke for like ever. and there's been periods of my life where like I've been following live streamers and I just I realistically couldn't afford to support them. So yeah, it's interesting. Ram Daco says, so 1105 are a bit like 1404s. Ram, haven't I already answered this? I specifically remember answering this question. 1105s are nothing like 1404s. 1105 is a lot less stator volume than 1404. Glitchy says, Velocitron group practice is something people are looking for and would be nice in Discord. Not sure if you already did that. So group practice is like racing. I'm a freestyle guy, Glitchy. So like group freestyle in the sim just like instantly devolves into everybody just going and doing their own freestyle thing. We did have a bunch of sim Sundays where we did lead follow stuff where like everybody else would try to be in a tight little pack, and then I would be like the camera drone. And I would fly all around them and show on the live stream, you know, this cool little tight pack of quads with these cool trails coming off. But that's not very interesting, I don't think. Like it gets kind of it's kind of boring because all you're doing is trying to, like, I'm the one having the fun. Everybody else is just in a little pack, just flying around, right? So yeah, and then you know I charge for flight instruction via the simulator, one-on-one flight instruction. I don't know how I would do like group flight instruction. I don't know if anybody would really be interested in that. It's more of like a one-on-one thing because I'm like individually working with that person, watching what they're doing, and then making suggestions. But I mean, I guess I could go on there. No, that doesn't really work. Well, I mean, if there was a room with a bunch of people, I guess I could type into the chat, like, everybody spectate me, and I'll show you how to do a trippy spin. But I mean, you can just go to YouTube and just watch somebody do a trippy spin, and it's all the same. Yeah, I don't know how that would work for freestyle. It's a super, like when I do the flight instruction sessions, it's like a very, very, very one-on-one thing. And like for the entire half an hour, for the entire hour, like I am just analyzing and like giving specific feedback, like just to that one person. If there were a bunch of people trying to do that all at once, I would spend 10 minutes with one person and everybody else would just be dicking off, and then I would have to swap to another person, spend 10 minutes, it like... I don't know how I would do that. Interesting idea. How do you... Ram Donko with a couple of fun little... what are they called? Emojis? Doom FPVs in the house. He says, best thing would be on your Discord would be personal help on builds and setup help / recommending setups. Yeah, I mean, that's what I do on Fiverr. To do that on Discord, yeah, I don't know how I would do that. I don't know how I would do that on Discord. It's super time consuming. You know, people do one-on-one sessions for like an entire hour with me to do that. So trying to then break that down and do it via text is like, you know, that becomes like outrageously time consuming for me, right? Interesting. Glenn Burnett says, I joined due to these builds, as you do off the wall and more specific with side-by-side sort of builds / comparisons, and I enjoy smaller quads. More than 5 inches, you can fly more places. Just my opinion. Yeah, I mean, for a while there, I thought the key would be doing a lot of Discord-only live streams. But what ends up happening is when I do those, there's only like 5 people in them. So the chat is kind of dead. And yeah, and then like I'll get people that'll bitch about me putting that content behind a paywall. And that doesn't feel good. And, you know, yes, of course I can just say, you know, well, I have to make a living, eat a dick. But, you know, I try to avoid that as much as possible. It's obviously an it's obviously a unrealistic expectation. The people that have this unrealistic expectation that everything is going to be free, of course they're wrong, right? But there's a lot of them, I guess. There's a lot of people that have that unrealistic expectation. You know what I mean? So yeah, I don't know. What if the flying gigs, when the flying gigs come back, none of this will be an issue. Because I'll make plenty of money from them to support myself and everything that I want to do. And all will be right with the world. So, I don't know. Maybe I'm wasting my time talking about this. But it's an interesting conversation, I think, right? Isn't it? Maybe somebody else is thinking about going full-time with FPV and trying to figure out how the hell to monetize it. There's not a formula. There really isn't. There aren't enough people that are full-time FPV pilots that there's any kind of a formula. Everybody does it completely different. For me, one of the biggest challenges is that like I burn out so easily. Like Joshua is so successful because he puts 10 hours a day in every day. Like straight up. I do not. If I did even 8 hours of FPV, like hardcore, like he does, hours of FPV a day, a month from now, it'd be over. I just can't do it. My brain just does not allow me to do that, and it's super frustrating because I used to be able to. I used to be able to grind like that, but I just can't anymore. And so yeah, I have to like find things that I can do that have like a lot of value, right? To like, I mean that's kind of everybody, right? But yeah, that's just sort of like a limitation that I have to live with. And again, it's really, really frustrating. But I can't just like ignore it. Believe me, I tried. And it got me into some real trouble. So, yeah, it's interesting. I don't know. It's a real conundrum, boys. I shouldn't even be bothering taking these props off. I should just use the wire cutters to cut this frame up into bits to get these motors and propellers off, but I don't know. This frame actually is still kind of good, so I might hang it on the wall. It just has a big chunk taken out of it. Come on, get in there, little chip lifter. Get in there. Little bastard. Hey, I played a bunch of like half an hour of Red Dead Redemption last night. What a fucking gorgeous game. Holy crap. I rode around on a horse in the snow and like it was wild, man. What is the deal with video games? They're so good. They're so realistic. It's ridiculous. Wow, this is being a real asshole. Can you cooperate, please? This is the only thing I don't like about these quad blade props is you can't really get your fingers in here to twist and pull them off. The tri-blades, you can get it, and it's definitely the bi-blades. You can get your little fingies in here and you can just usually twist and pop them right off. But these quads, nope. You guys were talking about that the Newbie Drone Pro frame that'll take the slightly bigger props. I'm all over that. Next order I do from somewhere. I didn't want to like commit to it on the stream the other night because I wanted to just think about how that slightly bigger prop would affect these motors. And I was initially like a little bit worried that I might basically bog these motors down with a bigger prop. But what I wasn't thinking about is that if that happens on the 4-blade, I can just drop down to the 3-blade, and that would be kind of nice. So, yeah, I'm all over that. I'm gonna snag that frame, and it'll probably end up on this rig. Come to think of it, maybe not though. Maybe that should go into a BT 2.0 rig to give it as much of a chance of being really good. We'll see. I keep forgetting to look over at the chat. Glenn Burnett says we all cray cray. Ram Douglas says I blame CiottiFPV. What do you blame me for? Got music in your head again. Got it. It's 9:56. All right, this stream's gonna go a little long because I do want to flash Betaflight 3.5.7 on that, and there's a chance that could turn into a little bit of a nightmare. It shouldn't. It should just flash on there and be totally fine in like 3 seconds. But yeah, there's a chance it'll become a real thing. This frame swap, now that I have those props off, will go pretty quick. Lead Slinger says I'll join your Discord. Head over to CiottiFPV.com, scroll down to the bottom, and there's a link to Discord. You won't get access to all the text channels until you join Patreon, but there's some, you'll get access to most of it. Glenn Burnett says, I've never broken a shaft on my 75mm Newbie Drone frame. What motors do you run, Glenn? And how often do you crash, and what do you crash into? Like, don't even worry about that. Like, do you crash as hard as I do? That's the question. You've probably seen me flying in Maggie's house. Those are the kind of impacts that I need to survive. Bob Noxious. Oh, also, Glenn, what propellers do you run? I'll bet you that you run ASI propellers. If you're not running GemFan propellers, then yeah, the reason you're not breaking motor shafts is because the propellers are bending. The GemFan propellers are really strong, which I like because then the props don't get bent out of shape and make the PID tune go to hell. So yeah, GemFan props are potentially the problem, but they're not. I'm not going to change away from GemFan props because they're so good. I still think that the 75 thing doesn't make sense because it's just too heavy. I really think that the best freestyle 1S whoop is 65. I'm still pretty sure of that. But I want to give 75 as much of a chance as I possibly can. I want to try to find a situation where the 75 makes sense. And I think it's just bigger, if it's just a bigger location that you're flying, right? But what's interesting is these 65s really do well in bigger spots like that. So, yeah, I don't know. And there's a lot more options on 65s, you know, like on the if you want to do a 75 1S, like you really don't have any motor options. Like it's just kind of these motors, unless I've tried the 0802s. They don't make nearly enough. Orga says, can we see through the eye thing if you'd hold it on the webcam lens? Yeah, I've done that like once or twice. It's not totally in focus, and like the sides are kind of blurry. And here's the other thing. It doesn't even really magnify much. You know what I mean? It magnifies a little bit, but then it kind of goes out of focus. And the other problem is like this thing is kind of wobbly, so like it does that a lot, like when I bump the desk. So I kind of assumed that that it was worse than just au naturel. But you guys tell me. I mean, if what I was just doing looks better than what you got right now, I actually prefer when this thing is here, because then the light source is closer. It's a bigger light source, and it's easier for me to work. So yeah, you guys tell me. Again, trying to find my spot in the chat because YouTube, of course, did the thing. Come on. Oh my god, I'm way behind on chat. Jeez. Paul McDonald says, it would be nice to see you more on Discord if you think about it, kind of like how JB is doing now, looking at similar size. Yeah, that Joshua is, I swear to God, he's a clone. Kenny Kobe says, then don't put so much valuable content on your live stream and promote. They can get the content on Discord and spend more of your time on there. Yeah, I've tried that, Kenny, but people get pissed, and I feel bad about it. And again, I can just say, you know, sorry. Like I can absolutely do that, but, you know, it doesn't feel good when people are like, oh, what the fuck? Putting your shit behind a paywall. Come on. You know, like, I don't like that. But, you know, some things in life you don't like. So if that's, you know, if I just need to become okay with not liking that, like... But I don't know. It's a balance, right? Because the worry about... The other thing is that the worry about doing that is that when you stop putting your good content up for free, then people stop watching, right? And your viewership goes down. So, yeah. Because there are a lot of people that don't like it. There are a lot of people that don't like when you put stuff behind a paywall. And they will literally like boycott your channel for it. Whether or not they talk shit is another story entirely. But yeah, so it's a balance. It's a balance. I've always really tried to have Joshua's approach, where it's like, hey, I'm gonna put all my stuff up here. If you like what I'm doing and you want to see me continue to do it, I need your support, right? Like that's, I love that approach. It's one of my favorite things about Joshua is that he's had that approach for so long, and it's worked so well for him. But he is one person, right? Like he is one person that's been able to make that work. Like most people don't even try it, right? But yeah, I mean, you can kind of argue that like most of your favorite pilots have Patreon pages, like, because it's so easy to set them up. So you could totally argue that like if that really worked, then there'd be more than just Joshua. But Joshua's the only one that says it. He's the only one that says that, and you have to tell people what you want. So yeah, I don't know. tough. Being a YouTuber is tough. It's hard to figure out, and it's it's not just me. Like, I see huge channels that I've been watching for a long time ask these same questions and struggle with these same things. Like, this profession that I'm in didn't exist a handful of years ago. So again, there's like no roadmap. Everybody is just kind of throwing shit at the wall and seeing what sticks. And I need to have these conversations sometimes because I have a tendency not to, and to not really think about it. And that's, that doesn't, it helps me to force myself to have these conversations, I guess is what I'm struggling to say. Kevin Summer says, yeah, mute all those servers you don't look at regularly. I would lose my sanity without servers being on mute. Did you ever spend time on IRC? Discord is the new IRC. I didn't. No, I really never did. Nor did I on Slack. I never really spent any time on Slack. It's just so... You know what a part of the problem is for me? Is that I'm a completionist. So going onto Discord, going onto Slack, going onto any of these like big spots... I have a hard time not getting caught all the way up. And in order to get caught all the way up and see everything, that's an impossible amount of time. For me to be more active on Discord, literally what I would need to do, I shit you not, this is how broken I sort of am. This is how unique I am, that's what I should say. I would have to put an alarm on my phone for every day at 5 o'clock called go on Discord for an hour. And then I would have to put a timer. And I would have to start that timer and sit on and be on Discord for an hour. That's how I would have to do it. And I should probably do that. And now that I've said this out loud, I will actually think about that and weigh that amongst like everything else. One of the other problems is I really need to edit. I really, really, really need to edit. So like my top priority right now should be editing. But editing don't make any money. So it's hard. It's hard to force myself to put the time aside to edit. And when I put edits up, they don't get many views. That drift edit is the perfect example of that. Like I put 10 plus hours into that, and it got like it's at like 300 views. And that is not a good way to spend my. Well, but the thing is, I do the edits for me. Realistically, I do them the way that I want, and I do them for me. So, yeah, it's not about the money with the edits, but they're so time consuming. But they're my portfolio. I'm really looking forward to doing a reel. That's going to be fun, but it's very daunting. It's the first thing that I'm going to do on the M1, though. Because the M1 Mac Mini is going to have all the hard drives hooked up to it. So they'll have all the footage. And I cannot wait to do a full project in Premiere on there. Because it should actually be faster. Like, it should actually cut, like, a significant... Not a significant amount of time, but an amount of time. And what I'm really hoping is that it is much less, that I am much less frustrated. And I'm sure that I will be. Because that will then encourage me to kind of do it more. Because one of the reasons why I have a hard time editing is it is frustratingly slow. And, like, I get into the groove, and then, like... Yeah, it's just the speed of the laptop and this desk and the 12-year-old desktop don't match the pace that like my brain is working at, and then you kind of like get distracted, in a weird way. You just, I don't know. I guess what you could say is like you can't be in like any kind of like an editing flow state when the machine doesn't keep up. Maybe that makes sense to someone. Bob Noxious says smaller groups and use the more experienced to help. In reference to, I'm assuming, like a freestyle group sim session on Discord. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. It's I don't know. It's an interesting thought. I also don't like, to be honest, I don't really like spending time in the sim because it makes me fly worse in real life. We've talked about that a bunch of times. I love doing one-on-one sessions because it is incredibly rewarding to work directly with someone and to watch them get better at flying. Like that, I fucking love that. So I'm not really flying much at that point. So yeah, it's interesting. Very confusing. Din636 says, sorry I'm late. How's it hanging, gangly man? Shriveled to the left, as always. Bob Noxious says, plus help sessions on Discord takes away from your income. Can't leave money on the table. Yeah, that is kind of a part of it, is that, like, you know, who's going to hire me on Fiverr to help them out if I'm giving it all away for free? There's definitely a balance to, like, how much do you give away for free? The you know, joining Patreon for $3 a month, like a couple extra people doesn't make a big impact. 50 extra people though, most certainly does. So I don't know. Will 50 extra people join Patreon? Right? If I start using Discord more, my gut says no, right? But I could totally be wrong. The uncertainty of this as a career is alarming. But it's also kind of exhilarating, and oddly enough, I work okay in this way, and or maybe you could even argue that I work better this way. I don't know, we'll see. I don't think I've been doing this long enough to really notice any, like, negative mental kind of impacts sort of thing. You know what I mean? Kenny Kobe says, stay consistent with your builds and don't worry about other people with my builds. So much, but start a build on here, live live, and then finish on the Discord, and then post a finishing video a few months late. You know, I've thought about doing that. I've thought about putting... So I kind of stole this idea from Mark Spatz, where I basically, like, start the build on here, and then finish it and fly it on Patreon. What Mark Spatz does is he'll give, like... He'll talk about, like, I don't know, the new filtering in Betaflight. He'll start talking about it on his YouTube free for everybody, and then he'll dive deeper on Patreon. And I love that. I love that idea. but I hadn't quite figured out how to sort of like implement it for myself. You know what I mean? And starting and finishing a build is a really good idea. I do really like that idea. So maybe I do that. I don't know. GrizzFPV says, that is my plan, getting too old to work the way I am. That was a good time to do it. Lead Slinger says, if your soldering iron is handy, heat up the motor shaft for a few seconds and the props will slightly expand and come off easier. No shit. That is I would have never thought that, Lead Slinger. That's pretty slick. Kevin Sumner says, it's Betaflight Meteor 65 Pro. That's it. Meteor. That's the word I couldn't remember. Meteor 65. Does Newbie Drone have a 65-35 frame? They do not. They do not. Brian Jarvis says, running Module 6, 0802, 25... Oh, fuck. YouTube did the thing. Scrolling back up. Module 6, 0802, 25,000. One of the motors works most of the time, but every so often when I plug in the right front motor, won't spin right away. Any ideas? My guess is that's the AIO failing, but just replace that motor and see if it gets any better. That's the easiest and cheapest fix. That should... Or what you can do is take that motor and swap it with another motor. And see if the problem chases the motor. If the problem chases the motor, you know that motor's bad. If the problem stays on that same corner, you know that the ESC on the AIO is bad. Sounds an awful lot like it's an AIO problem, if I'm brutally honest, but there is a chance that it's the motor. Orga says, meant the small eye thing, jeweler's gadget. Did you see the Unreal Engine 5 Matrix demo? The technology and graphics systems we live in really close. Orga, I'm confused. I'm confused by meant the small eye jeweler gadget. This is called a loop. There's a link in my video descriptions to one over on Amazon. But yeah, 5X loop if you want to find it. L-O-U-P-E is how it's spelled. Dusty Joe is back. He ordered the purple shirt. Dusty Joe, congratulations, my man. You were the winner of the full build with the Caddx Star Seer and all the fun stuff. Dusty Joe, send me a message on Instagram or Facebook at CiottiFPV or Discord or Patreon, and yeah, send me your info and I'll send you your stuff. Congrats, brother. I'm going to write your name down on here. And, oh, man. Awesome. I'm so glad that you were in here for this tonight. Because if you weren't, I would have had no way of finding you, really. Dusty Joe. When you message me, just mention that you're Dusty Joe. Because I'm sure that you're not Dusty Joe on Facebook if you message me on Facebook. Oh, congratulations, dude. You are required to let us all know how this build is. I'm actually pretty jealous. I've wanted to do that build for a long time, but it just keeps getting put farther and farther on the back burner. Glenn Burnett says, I use 0802 Newbie Drone 20,000 plaid with GemFan 40mm biblade. I'm a noob and crash a ton, especially when I'm flying acro indoors. Probably nowhere near the inertia that you crash into stuff. Gotcha, Glenn. So the bi-blades are also helping. The bi-blades are going to rotate out of the way when the duct moves in. So yeah, that is helping a lot. If you went to a GemFan quad blade, and started crashing hard, you would probably start breaking motor shafts. Maybe not, though. Maybe this motor shaft breaking thing is only on these T-motors. That's what I'm trying to figure out. Kenny Kobe says, do more reviews. That is most people's recipe for success. Most people only do reviews, though. I do a lot of other stuff, and it doesn't leave me much time to do reviews. Reviews are incredibly time-consuming. Do a product review at some point. You will not believe how time consuming it is. So yeah, the review thing is really tough. I am going to be doing some prop and battery, some more simple, like basically one battery reviews. But like the proper reviews that people really want to watch classically, man, they're yeah, 5, 6, 7, 8 hours. Because you flub lines over and over and over again. And so then you either have to spend a lot of time editing, or you have to spend a lot of time doing it over and 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 over again. So yeah, I'm much better as a live streamer than a recorded reviewer. I've tried it. It's not my thing. It really isn't. I wish that it was, because it's as close as we've got to like a formula for success in FPV on YouTube, is just review shit. Just get a product in, read the specs off, say what you think about it, and but yeah, those videos, my God. Let's Slinger said they take me a lot of time. I'll put it that way. Maybe they don't take some of these other guys a lot of time, but they take me a shitload of time. Lead Slinger says, I've never broke a motor shaft using gem fans, but when I switched to HQ, I broke a motor shaft using bi-blades. Wow, that's weird. HQ props are super stiff and aren't drilled all the way through. That makes sense. That makes sense. Bob Noxious says, quack, quack, quack. Ramdanko says, just saw a crap advert and it was mostly drone shots. The hotel looked glorious, but was shiz and boring. A good shot or two. That's interesting. It's always wild when you see FPV specifically footage anywhere. Let's flash 3.5.7 on this while I'm getting caught up on chat, and then I will wrap this live stream up for the night. Let me turn off the soldering iron. That's a good thing to do. So this is an old. Oh wait, no. Oh yeah. So I have to do two things on this. I do want to put 3.5.7 on this, but oh, that's right. The reason I have to do it here, the reason I didn't do this in Studio 2 is I didn't have my tools, and the boot button on this is in a location that I can't get to without taking the canopy off. So I have to take the canopy off real quick to get to the goddamn boot button. That's right. I remember now. So this is a little brushed rig that I gave to Maggie, Sage, and Azalea for Christmas, in case any of them would like to learn to fly FPV. Brushed builds are arguably perfect for that, because you can batter the shit out of them and they won't care, and you can fly them inside, so you can get a whole bunch of stick time in. The sim, for somebody that's really serious at getting into this hobby, the sim is certainly the best. But the sim is not all that fun. Son of a bitch, that's a bind button. That's not a boot button. Ugh. Farts. We'll try it anyway. So, let me unplug this from the computer a little bit. And we are going to spudge this bind button down. I can hopefully do this with my left hand, and then I can use my right hand to plug the USB back in. There we go. Bind button is down. Farts. Fell off of it. Okay. Bind button is down. There we go. USB is plugged in. Let's see. Let's see if the bind button doubles as the boot button. Nope. Damn it, Larry. Oh! What? It has 3.5.7 on it. Oh. Oh, God. I'm the worst. Was it really good to go? What? Oh, okay. Well, we're good then. Oh, I remember. I'm the worst. I remember. I need to bind it. I need to bind it to the transmitter that I gave to them. And that transmitter is there. It's not here. The bind commands don't work in 3.5.7. In 3.5.7, we did not have the bind commands in the CLI. So I had to get at the button. I had to get at the bind button. Right, but I didn't have the tools there. I didn't have a Phillips head screwdriver small enough there. Wow. Well, that's how you install 3.5.7. Here's how you install 3.5.7. You go into the CLI and you type BL for bootloader. BL. And then it puts it into DFU mode. And then you go to update firmware. And you go down here to load firmware local. And then you select 3.5.7 that you've downloaded from Betaflight to GitHub. So you can search for like Betaflight 3.5.7. Let's see what that comes up with. So the very first search result is driving you to GitHub. And then so let's try clicking Betaflight here. Nah, that's not the right thing to click. You're gonna click 4.0.0. Look for like one of these. You know, you can probably. Just trying to show you guys like the easiest way to do it. There's 15 ways to do this. No, it's 4.3. Here we go. So there's a Reddit post. How to reflash Betaflight 3.5.7. This is. I bet you this is gonna have the link to. You guys know how to search for things on Google. You can find it. You can find 3.5.7. I mean, I can't. Hey, here we go. Here's a Happy Battle post. This will probably have the GitHub link in it. Hey, default firmware. Is this the direct? Is this going to go to... Oh, this ain't going to go to GitHub. Hold on, let's keep looking. Look at that. Oh, the algorithm. The algorithm. Wow. I'll be damned. What if we put GitHub in here? GITHUB. That'll do it. That'll do it. Here we go. Okay. So 3.5 release notes. This will get us close, and then scroll down a little bit, and where is it going to be? Where is it going to be? Installation instructions here. 3.2.0. It's black box. Man, GitHub is just the most difficult website in all the land to use. This ain't it. Let me check chat. Surely somebody in chat is telling me what to search for. Brian Jarvis says, just ordered some quad blade 31mm props and realized they have a 0.8mm hole. It sucks. Yeah, those are for the brushless. That's what these motors are here. That's what these are here. The brushed motors use the 0.8mm hole. You might be able to get a 1mm drill bit and drill them out. I think I got one a long time ago. I forget where I got it from though. Nobody in chat has just been like, hey, dumbass. It's right there. Kenny Kobe says, it's all food for thought. Just trying to help because I enjoy your content and sure be the most help me as a pilot. Yeah, I appreciate it, Kenny. I really, really, really do. Ram Dunko says, thought Discord was a secret world, but let it open. Dusty Joe says, dude. Go-Kart Mozart says, did you see Nubigen has nitro connectors with GNB connectors? Yep. I'm excited by them, but I have so many BT 2.0 batteries right now. I got to burn through all these first. Kenny Kobe says, by finishing it later on the Discord. Just kind of seems to be what most people come here for, appealing to myself, so that way you don't have to pressure yourself into finish the build live, still providing the free content. Dan636 says, whatever you do, keep doing you. Demenis says, who is the highest earning FPV pilot? Pilot, probably Johnny FPV. Personality, I bet you it's Joshua. Well deserved too. He works harder than anybody. Full stop. Fucking fight me if you think that's not true. Ramdonko says, get a basher phone or tablet, keep in touch on Discord plus vids. Family Guyver says, would be amazing to rip with and get some fun times in. Shit, I meant to do that last year. I want to do a monthly fly day. Bob Noxious says, you can always do a Discord night and create a channel for it. Yeah, I want to do more Discord only streams. I really do. Patreon only streams rather. Chris Croft says, one reason Sims fly worse is a bug in OpenTX. Yeah, it's true, but the latency is not the thing that screws me up. The thing that screws me up is the one thing that I've noticed, like the better that I get as a pilot, the more I rely on sort of, I haven't been able to figure out how to explain this in a great way, but this will make sense. The ability to look into the future and see where the rig is going to fall. I do a lot of like these big throw moves, and in the simulator, the more time you spend in the simulator, the more dialed in you get on the amount of throw that you get in the simulator. And then when you do that in real life, it's completely wrong. And that causes more crashes than anything else. So that's one of the hardest things. And that's one of the main things that I work on now. Because the stick movements and the stick combinations and all that stuff is done. Like I don't have to think about that anymore. Like the first time I saw someone do a trippy spin in HD, I just went and did it because it's just like, oh yeah, it's just this. Like it's just yaw in this direction, roll in this direction, then they're pitched back this amount, and then you fly it with the throttle. Like you there comes a point as a pilot where like doing a trick, like tricks don't matter. Like if you see somebody do a trick, you don't need to see their sticks anymore. And yeah, it takes a long time for that to happen. But yeah, that's one of the things that the sim really fucks up for me is it, and it's just impossible to I've played with the dials and knobs on the sims, and there's just no way to get it. There's just no way to get it perfect for the amount of like fling and momentum and yeah. So unfortunately that I try to stay off the sim because of that. It's bad enough that I do it to myself with tiny whoops and with 3-inch rigs, right? Because they all have a different amount of throw. So I have to recalibrate over and over and over again to add another thing that does that. And that, well, although that's not the problem. The problem in the simulator is you put in a ton of stick time really fast. So you really lock in to the physics of the sim very, very quickly and very hard. So, yeah. Family Guyver says HDMI out feed to the CiottiFPV Instructional Institute. Bob Noxious says, are we going to plan a meetup this summer? Family Guyver's talking about coming this way. Yeah, I want to try to do one a month. Just set a time and a place. Come on out. It'll be Patreon only. Patreons will be the only people to get the invites to that. It'll just be a Patreon post saying, here's the time and the place. Come on out. Glenn Burnett says, do you put Loctite on your tiny whoop motor screws? I do not, because the Loctite will eat the plastic that you're threading the screw through. Ramdanko says we got. Oh, I'm caught up on caught up-ish on chat. June Loco tagged me. Question, fellas, when you scale your motors, do you just change the scale factor percent under the PID tuning tab? Yep, that's it. Demenis says Betaflight GitHub releases. Is that what I need to search? There we go. Awesome. Thank you, dude. Betaflight GitHub releases 3.7. Yeah, of course. Well, no, hold on. Let's just try exactly that. Betaflight GitHub releases Betaflight. Hey, there we go. So you just have to scroll down enough. 4.2, 4.29, 4.27. Yeah, and then 4.0. Find a release. Here we go. Find a release. 3.5.7. Works well. Your search works great, guys. Jesus. But yeah, just keep scrolling. And you'll find it. 3.5. Hey, 3.5.5, 3.56. There it is! Hey! So then what you do is you click that, I think, right? Hey, there it is. There it is. So there's all the hexes. So I needed this like crazy B F3, I think. I don't know. But yeah, that's how you do it. You and then you right-click your release, and there you might be able to left-click them. Yep, left-click them, and it'll download. It's gonna download to the folder, and boom, there it is. Now you know how to install Betaflight 3.5.7. I've officially done all the things in the stream title. Woo! But I totally forgot. All I needed to do was push that bind button with this rig. And now I have a screwdriver at Maggie's small enough to take that rig apart. So I will now put this damn thing back together and then probably forget again. It's just the way it is sometimes. Hey, I'm gonna get on Assetto Corsa tonight and do a what's Wednesday? What is it? Wheelin' Wednesday. I'm gonna do a Wheelin' Wednesday after this. I'll probably do it at like 11 o'clock. I don't schedule those. I just hit the button on PS4 and it goes live. So if you guys are into cars, come hang out over on here on YouTube. Yeah, a stream will pop up in half an hour, 45 minutes. I gotta get some food first though. Cody Essay with a $6.99 Californian Canadian dollar live stream. Nope. Super chat. Thank you, Cody. Getting in the stream late. Glad you're still running the stream. Hope all is well. What's your average whoop rate? Whoop weight for a 65 without the battery. Oh. Let's weigh the. Let's see what the difference in frame weight is. Let me put the rest of these props on. This Meteor frame should be a little bit lighter. These two rigs, up until I switch this frame out, when these two rigs are both on cockroach frames, that's what I'm trying to say, they weigh exactly the same. I forget what the weight difference is between the cockroach frame and this Meteor 65 frame, but we're about to find out. Meteor frame with the Acro-B, 22.7 grams. With the cockroach frame, 23. So 0.3 gram weight savings. All right. I did the lighter weight frame on the PH 2.0 rig to give it a little bit more of an advantage. You know, I want to keep this build together on PH 2.0 so that I can test PH 2.0 batteries. I don't just want to go all in on BT 2.0, and it's kind of annoying to change the battery connectors. You got to pull everything apart. But yeah, this is great. These motors are also more banged up on this rig, so this frame should actually help that a little bit. We'll see. I'm most curious about I don't have a single Tiny Whoop battery charged. Next live stream, we'll get to see if this Meteor frame is wobbly enough that my fairly aggressive PID tune and filter tune doesn't work. This tune on here is for the cockroach frame, which is much stiffer, much stiffer. I am really interested to see if I'm going to have to back this tune off because of this frame. I've had to do it in the past. I think that was before RPM filters though. So we'll see. I'll know tonight. No, I won't. I'm gonna get out of this room and get some food and play in the living room for the rest of the night. GrizzFPV says, dude, yeah, please try to set up a fly day. Would love to fly with you again. Yeah, it's going to happen for sure this year. Don't let me forget about that, though. If I forget about doing that, bug the shit out of me, everybody. Grizz also says, Liftoff has new physics engine. I haven't tried it yet, but JB and Blenny were talking about it. Uses a PID controller and actual rates. That's pretty cool. I like that a lot. Glenn Burnett says, what do you think about gnarly FPV's 2-inch subatomic? Never heard of it. Let's take a quick look. 2-inch rigs are... 2-inch is not a great size. 2-inch is similar to 4-inch in it really doesn't have like a proper payload for it. It's like too big to fly inside, but it's too small to fly outside kind of thing. Cool looking frame. They beefed up the rear arms, which doesn't make any sense. The rear arms don't take any substantial abuse. The front arms take the majority of the abuse. So this is kind of silly to have this rear arm be an A arm. That's just sort of a waste of weight, in my opinion. It's a cute little frame. It's got fixed standoff height, which I don't usually like. I prefer frames that use regular old standoffs so that you can run a 15 mil if you do a nano camera, you can do a 20 mil if you do a micro camera, you can do a 28 mil if you want to do a run cam hybrid. That's one of the big reasons that I don't like these camera cages. I don't like rigs that have these metal camera cages because it forces you to build at that one and only height. And maybe my stack setup doesn't fit in that one exact height that they've spec'd it for, and then you got to spend more money and sell stuff, and it's just a pain in the ass. And in my opinion, there's really kind of no substantial benefit to having a camera cage like this. The other problem is that there's a fixed camera mounting location, so if your camera is a little bit too tall or an awkward shape, sometimes it won't work. So yeah, if you're gonna buy a frame with camera plates, do yourself a favor and buy the exact setup. Like, resist the urge to use anything that you already have, or run the parts that you think will work better. Throw that all out the window and pretend like it's a bind and flight, and just whatever parts that they recommend, run exactly those parts, because that's the only way that you can be totally sure. Here you go. Recommended electronics. So yeah, if you're gonna buy this frame, realistically you want to buy exactly this setup of parts. If you stray from this setup of parts in any way, there's a chance that it won't work in that frame, and that's so goddamn annoying. But yeah, that's one of the reasons that I stick with vertical standoff frames, because there's much more adjustability in the way that you build it. Interesting looking little frame. 2-inch rigs are only the slightest bit smaller than 2.5-inch rigs, and 2.5-inch rigs outperform them in a big way. At which point it's like, well, you could say the same thing about 3-inch rigs. It's only a little bit bigger than 2.5-inch rig, and it. But there is a massive increase in performance when going from 2 inches to 2.5 inches. There's not quite that big of an increase going from 2.5 to 3. It's still a pretty big increase. In my opinion, the only reason for a 2-inch build is if you want the absolute lightest possible rig that can carry an Insta360 Go 2. But I think that 2.5-inch rigs do a much better job at that task. And yeah, they're not that much heavier either. So, and there's more parts for them. So I don't know. 2-inch is one of those, like, if you're gonna do it, you're just gonna do it for the sake of doing it, or because you have some parts that are like. What I want to say is you have a bunch of 2-inch props, but props are so cheap that just throw them away and build a 2.5-inch instead. You'll get better performance. I guess if you have a set of motors that works really well on 2-inch, there's your reason to build 2-inch. You guys know what I'm getting at, right? With that frame of thought. Ramdongo says, seen it all before. Chris Croft says, I think you missed my question earlier. 75mm frame newbie drone versus Betaflight versus Mobula 7 for 1S HD0. Nick Burns one looked it's a flat. Nick Burns one looked to fly for. I don't know what the end of that means, Chris, but 75mm frame newbie drone versus Betaflight versus Mobula 7 for 1S HD0. I don't know, to be honest. I don't know any of the 75mm bind and flies. My only experience with 75mm has been these custom builds. And what I can tell you is that, in my opinion, 75mm 1S, the only motor that I've been able to find that makes enough power for me is the T-Motor 0803 22,000 kV. It's also the only one that has a high enough kV. That 22,000 kV is a big reason why these T-Motors hammer like they do. Newbie Drone, Betaflight, and Mobula 7, they are not putting motors that are this high of a kV or have this much of stator volume. So yeah, because if you're going to build the 75, it should, in my opinion, it should have a whole bunch of power. It's the only reason to build the 75 is to get more power than a 65. And the 65mm rigs on 0802 25,000s on the Gemfan quad blades make a ton of power. So it's hard to get to that same power to weight ratio with a 75mm rig, mainly because we don't have as many motor options for the 75mm rigs. Din636 says, I'll be there. YouTube just did the thing. Bob Noxious says, later collective, gonna rip some night packs. Great stream, thank you, brother. Metal Dirkson says, I'd probably waste a bunch of airline miles to get out there for Rip Day. Yeah, I'm doing it for sure. I'm absolutely doing it. Ooh, a bot. Bye-bye. Hey, I'm caught up on chat. Thanks for hanging, friends. This was a long one. That's what she said. Is it? Is it, though? Is it what she said? Congratulations to Dusty Joe for winning that build kit. Congratulations to Shiner for making my favorite beer, Candied Pecan. Candied Pecan, which sits next to your bed. And I'm gonna grab a bite to eat, and then I'm gonna jump on the simulator. So if you haven't had enough and you're into cars, stick around. There'll be a Assetto Corsa stream coming up. I'll probably just hop on to online for some real people to run with, and I'll probably just hammer around the Nürburgring for a while, but it's really fun. So yeah, I'll see you guys in a little bit if you're into cars. If not, I'll see you on Friday at 7 o'clock. Might be a little bit of a shorter stream. I don't think I'm going to go from 7 to 9 on Friday. There's a chance I'll do 8 to 9 on Friday, but I'll stream for sure on Friday. So I'll see you at either 7 or 8 o'clock Eastern Time Friday. Here comes some flying with some epidemic sounds. And I'll see you guys in a couple of days. Sunday cloudy? What's that? What's this? Sunday cloudy. Oh, these are Hero 7 files that won't play. Ooh, pipes! Play some pipes flying. That's a fun one. Alright, friends, I love you guys. Be good. Don't do anything I wouldn't do. Oh, OBS, really? You're gonna grenade the audio? Oh, hold on. I gotta quit out of OBS. Why is this happening to me? All right, here it comes, friends. Stream Elements is, I don't know. Maybe it's just because this computer's old. Love you guys. Be good. I'll see you